Cricket last show is me, Neel Khagram. Today we're joined by Aditya Tare. How are you doing?
I'm very good, Neil. Hope things are well at your end as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. So we're going to do a little wicket keeping masterclass. You're going to give us some tips. Before we dive into it, let's talk a little bit about your career. You played for some of the biggest IPL sides currently with the Mumbai Indians, also Delhi, Sunrisers Hyderabad. In the longer format, you play for Mumbai as well. So just talk us through how your career's gone so far and how you got into the sport, etc.
Yeah, well, it all started at home because I lived in a joint family, so I had cousins around me. My father, my uncle, everyone were all cricket buffs. So cricket was ingrained in my system right from the very start. Obviously, in India or in Mumbai, basically, lots of our friends together used to play down in our building premises. Used to play cricket all day long. So it all started like the love for the game, the passion for the game started when I was very young. And eventually, in school, my school actually was a football playing school. We didn't have a great cricket team, or until the eighth grade, there wasn't a cricket team at all. So I used to play football, like for my school team. And when the cricket team came, they introduced cricket into school. I was really excited, and I jumped onto that opportunity. And from school itself, things clicked for me in cricket rather than football. So I thought cricket is what I can pursue because sports was always the interest within me. So I just wanted to pursue that, and from one thing to another, just things started clicking for me in cricket, and in no time I found myself, in the state team, like in the age group of the Mumbai Cricket Association. So from there on, things just started going well for me. And when I was 20, I got into the white ball team of the senior Mumbai Ranji team, and I was always the second or the third choice keeper, when I was growing up. But eventually, things went well for me. But it was a bit of a struggle because at 20 I made my debut in white ball cricket. But it was until I was 25 years old that I had to wait for my red ball opportunity, like the longer format, the format that I really love. So it took me 5 years to sort of work around my game and get into the main squad as a first wicket keeper. So my journey in Mumbai was a bit of a struggle to start on with, but things really went well as I started playing for Mumbai regularly.
And who were your heroes growing up?
Uh, um, Growing up, I was a big fan of the Australian team because in the late 90s, early 2000s, the Australian team was the best in the world, and Adam Gilchrist was someone I really looked up to. The way he played his game, his keeping was outstanding. But he sort of changed the definition of a wicketkeeper in cricket, where previously wicketkeepers were expected to do the job really well behind the stumps, and if they could contribute with a bat, it was good. But he sort of changed that. He was one of the wicket keepers who started opening the innings in one day cricket. He did really well in test matches. He was a phenomenal striker of the ball, and he sort of changed the definition of a wicket keeper to be an all-rounder rather than just a specific skill. He just made that into an all-round skill as a batsman and as a wicket keeper. So he was someone that I really looked up to and I idolized.
And then what's your proudest moment in the sport been so far and the ambitions for yourself as an individual moving forward?
Well, well, the dream, especially coming from Mumbai, my dream was to get into the Mumbai Ranji team first, do well for them, win championship to them. So obviously winning the Ranji Trophy in 2012, 13 and 15, 16 are special moments for me in my career. 15, 16 being the first year of my captaincy where we won the Ranji Trophy. So that was really special again. I was fortunate to be part of a few IPL franchises, and Mumbai Indians being the major part of my IPL career. I've won three. I've been part of three champion sides with the Mumbai Indians, once with Sunrisers Hyderabad. So the journey, or the like, as a cricketer, you always want to win games. You want to win championships, and I was fortunate that I could be part of a few champion teams, and I could contribute in some way during those championships. So that's one of the proudest, sort of highlights of my career. Well, going forward, it's just uh, making use of the opportunities, because lately in the IPL, especially, I haven't played a lot of games, or have always been a second choice or the backup wicketkeeper. So I'm just working hard and looking forward to whatever opportunities I'll get, and I think I've got the ability to do well, and try and force myself into the national team. So fingers crossed, I'm hoping I'll get the opportunity soon.
So perfect. Really can't wait to get into these tips that you have for wicketkeeping.
Yeah.
Let's get into it now.
I'll touch base on the basics or the techniques, where you start off with the stance. Everyone has different stance. Everyone likes to be. For me, if I have to advise a young wicketkeeper, I'd want him to be comfortable in how he sits or how he has his stance. So ideally, you would want your stance to be around your shoulder width or slightly wider, so that you're sitting comfortably in a good position in your stance, your head being still, your hands being relaxed. These are the few basics that you can think of. And again, as the ball is being bowled, to rise up with the bounce of the ball. In the end, just uh, give some space between your body and your hands to receive the ball really nice and soft into your gloves. So those are the basics that you start on with. But like I said, every keeper has his strengths and weaknesses, and there's nothing as correct as every keeper has his own technique, or eventually develops his own technique or his own basics. So I've been coached by fortunately, I've been coached by Kiran More, who was one of finest wicket keepers India has ever produced, and I was really he was really helpful in sort of getting my basics right as a wicket keeper. Again, with the Mumbai team, I've been coached I've been coached under a lot of wicket keepers, so Lakshan Kulkarni, Chandrakant Pandit, Vinayak Samant, the latest coach. He was a wicket keeper himself. He was a bit of a freak. He had his own technique. He was a master in wicket keeping in the Mumbai team, and but he had his own technique, and it wasn't conventional, but it was really effective for him. And you see in international cricket, you see MS Dhoni is not one of the best technical wicket keepers, but he's a freak. The things that he does with the gloves, not everyone can do. So my thinking is that you can develop your own technique and your own basics as long as you're comfortable in what you're doing. Second part, which I feel is very crucial, is your preparation. Uh, well, you have to be really prepared for what the challenge you're going to face as a wicketkeeper. If you're playing on a turner, like in India, you get a lot of turning pitches, so you've got to prepare yourself, keeping up to the stumps, to the spinners, where you have to analyze what the pitch is going to do. You have to analyze what your bowlers are capable of bowling. It's always challenging to keep against top quality spinners, because they've got a lot of variations, and they've got a lot of skill. So you have to be up to the challenge, and you have to up your skill as well as a wicketkeeper to back that ability of your bowling unit. So you have to analyze firstly the pitch, your bowling unit, how they fare, what they do on turning pitches, and also you have to analyze the conditions of the ground or the match. Um, you know, like if how good is the square? Is the square bumpy? Is it hard? So when the guys are throwing in throws from the deep, you sort of have to be aware of your surroundings. So all those sort of things you've got to be prepared mentally before the game. And the other side of preparation is you've got to be comfortable with your glove work, with your footwork. So got to practice a lot, do a lot of drills. Wicket keeping, I feel, is one attribute where the more you keep or the more hard work you put in, the better you can get. So it's all about putting in those hard yards while preparation. And finally, it's the physical attributes that you have as a wicket keeper. You have to start off with having good, strong legs, because the wicket keepers have a lot of lateral movement to do, which is one of the most unnatural movements on the cricketing field. The bowler or the batsman is always running in a straight line, or it's always straight. There's no one, very rarely you find in sport that people have to move laterally, which is a very unnatural thing to do as for a human body, and that's the challenge as a wicketkeeper, because you have to move and you have to be quick laterally. Not it's not about running straight. It's about being swift and quick laterally. So that's a challenge. For that, you need to have good, strong legs. Good. To get that, you have to put in a lot of strength work. In the gym in the off season, so that you create that base for the workload that you'll have. Throughout the entire season. And the second part is the agility, because as a keeper, you're expected to have good reflexes. You are expected to be agile. You're expected to be to have good intensity and good energy on the field, because most of the keepers play that role of a leader of the fielding side, because they can sort of pump in a lot of energy into the teammates. They are in one of the best positions on the ground to sort of see what's going on in the game. So it can be a great help to the captain as well.